I wanted to do a little thing about being a teenager with Asperger, a couple little things about being a teenager with Asperger. I really wanted to be popular, you know. I know a lot of kids with Asperger's really want to be popular because they have no idea. See, especially kids who aren't diagnosed, who have no idea they have Asperger's syndrome, and they have no idea it is their nature to crave solitude and to like be with other people under special occasions, but the generalized kind of popularity that you will see among your peers ain't for you if you're Asperger's. But I didn't know that, and I wanted to be popular, but to say that I lacked the knack is, to be kind. I had no idea how to go about making friends. I had no gift for it, whatever, and it completely eluded me. For the first 2 years of the prep school I went to on Long Island, the ninth grade and 10th grade, I was sinking into the sense that I was just lost. Did not know how to make friends, and my grades were also declining. I think we're talking C average by this point. And that summer, my parents threatened to remove me from that prep school, which was on Long Island and had a certain civilized cultivation, and to bring me back to Jackson, Mississippi public schools. And that to me was like a death sentence. And so that summer I pleaded with them to give me one more chance, one more year, and I would prove myself at the private school. And that summer, in preparing for my junior year, I came across a book called, which you will all be familiar with, I bet half of you, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I'm sorry to say I read that book and found many tips on how to win friends and influence people. And he went on and on about how people are interested in themselves and how really all you need to do to get people eating out of your hand was to pay them a compliment, especially if it wasn't, too obvious. And so that summer, I developed the idea that my approach would be to hone the skill for complimenting people in a way that they didn't even know they were being complimented. So the trick was to make your comment so that it wasn't like a general, you're looking really nice today, but you got to make it kind of off the wall so it doesn't sound like a compliment or like, what are you dressed up for, or something. I think, that's not a very good example because I'm kind of out of practice. But you can get very, very good at it, paying compliments to people without them knowing it. And as I'm about to tell you, this is one of the most powerful techniques in the world. There's nothing, Dale Carnegie is right. People are interested almost entirely in themselves, and people are starved for compliments, especially after they are kids. Kids get cheap compliments from a lot of people, but when you're adult, especially you get middle age, boy, it's like a damn desert out there. And if you get a compliment from somebody, especially if it doesn't sound like they're trying to butter you up for something, if you can't even figure out that it's a compliment, it's like an injection of damn adrenaline or something. So anyway, I practiced that that summer, walking around in Battlefield Park in Jackson, Mississippi, practicing in my mind how I'd go about complimenting people in different situations without them even knowing it. Just kind of very subtle compliments, I know, it's manipulative. It was so good. I was so good at it, though, that junior year, that by the end of that junior year, here's the unbelievable thing. I was elected president of the student body. No kidding. No kidding. I mean, a person with Asperger like me, I literally had no friends. I had kids that kind of I talked with. I was an athlete. That was a great thing. I played football, basketball, ran track. I didn't have the physical disabilities, but I have the inability to make friends, and a lot of kids tried to make friends with me, and I sort of tried to make friends with them, but you know, it's just weird. It just doesn't seem to catch or take. Very few kids, a few kind of big-hearted kids that knew how to be a friend with somebody who didn't always reciprocate in the ordinary manner. I could call them my friend. But the successful application of Dale Carnegie's technique, honed to a fine perfection of paying people compliments in a subtle way that they didn't even know it, proves to be an enormously powerful technique. But when I became actually president of the student body, I was horrified at what I had done. After all, I was a very self-conscious person who didn't like to make public appearances or schmooze or do anything like that. And this, this was all like the ultimate, in a way, the ultimate Machiavellian thing, pure manipulation. And by the end of it, I did serve my term, and apparently did not make too big a fool of myself. But I was terribly ill at ease in the role, I can tell you, throughout the entire senior year, and took it as a lifelong lesson that if you try to force your foot into the wrong slipper, it's just going to be painful. I mean, it might look good for 5 minutes, but and above all, at the end of that year, as president of the student body, horrified at my own kind of awkwardness and self-consciousness and my ill-suitedness for the role, I felt like a character out of Catcher in the Rye, one of those phonies that the character was always talking about at his prep school. I was that phony. I was 100% phony. In the sense that presenting myself as someone I wasn't. But hey, if you don't mind the manipulation and you want to insinuate yourself into a social group, flattery without it being apparent is the big weapon. That's the big one.